Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of StarChasers, Girls Talk Ball. And as always, the girl Cravin Cowboys in the building. I got my girl Star in the building, and I'm gonna let her introduce our special guest for the night. Go ahead, girl. How you doing?
What's up, everybody? I know it's your girl Star. So glad to be here for another episode of StarChasers, Girls Talk Ball. Y'all know we got our special guest in the building, Mr. Voch Lombardi. Let's give him some claps. Y'all know that, first of all, Voch, I call Voch the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? I say Law the GOAT, but Voch is the baby GOAT. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just so super excited to be here with Voch. Voch, how you doing?
Hey, Bachi.
That's my new thing. I like to look off in the distance. You remember Michael Jackson popped out the floor? He just looked off it. 30s. He didn't even say anything. He didn't say anything. That's my new thing. Hey, it's long overdue. Appreciate y'all for having me. You know, thank you for your hospitality and all that. I'm tired as hell, but I've been waiting my whole life to be this tired. You feel me? So thanks for having me.
Yeah, Voch, we just are super excited to have you on. It's been like you said, we've been needing to get you on for a while, and I'm like, let me reach out to Voch, because it's like, if there's anybody that I want to talk to when it comes to the draft, it is Voch Lombardi. So I'm glad that we got you on here.
Also, too, Law is the undisputed GOAT. I don't even want to be in the same conversation with him. I will always default to Law. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Law Nation. He's big GOAT for it. I am Voch, but he is Law. So shouts out to him, man. That's big bro for real.
Right.
Law like this content community. So appreciate you. What's up, Lou? Lou in the chat. Y'all know Lou is one of the best upcoming content creators in music on the film review. Y'all know y'all need to go subscribe to Lou. Shout out to Marcus and Keandre,
Joseph,
Angie, my girl Angie. Love you, Angie.
She put in that work, sis.
She put in our information. She was putting in our cash app. I was like, okay, Angie.
Right. So I appreciate what's up, fam?
Keystone, the king of the sleepers, Goody Kush. Just everybody coming in, man. We really appreciate y'all. And so, you know, we're gonna jump right into it. The 2025 draft is over. We fought a lot, you know, in this content community about who that 12 overall pick was gonna be. It ended up being Booker. But you know, it's all good over here. And I'm just kidding, y'all. Y'all know I already talked about Booker. My issue was never Booker the player, because I knew Booker was going to be or was a good player. My thought was just we needed a weapon over another guard. But you know what? We got Booker here. Booker talks about himself in the third person.
I love it. That's how I talk too. Voch Lombardi loves that. I love to hear Voch Lombardi love to hear people talk about themselves in third person. For sure.
So Voch, tell us your thoughts about Booker. I mean, clearly you're the O-line guru, so I know that you love Mr. Booker.
You say O-line like that? Why you say like that?
I feel like Stephen Jones. You're the O-line,
not the air quote,
but
it was necessary. Just as much as wide receiver was a need, Cowboys looked at right guard as a need as well. Just to be clear, I'm not anti-wide receiver. You know, I was also Ted McMillan guy. I was also Golden guy. But I was high enough on Booker to where if Booker was the pick and not Golden, I would understand. If McMillan was on the board and it was Booker, you may have gotten attitude out of it. But that ain't the case. So what we had to figure out was how many bodies did the Cowboys, not us, because we don't matter. We don't matter. How many players did they have lined up between McMillan, Golden, whoever? Tyler Booker was one of them. Nolan was another one. Michael was another one, but he was gone. I work in the building now, and I heard Donovan was in that little group too. Just not as high, but he was a little bit in that group too. They love Donovan. I do too, but so at least what you have with Booker is you have a guy. This might be where we fight a little bit. Me and Mickey just gonna smile at each other all day, but me and Star about to fight right now. Hoffman wasn't enough. Brock Hoffman was not enough. And the Cowboys, you can break your neck all you want to, and the Cowboys will tell you that. When Brock Hoffman was supposed to be the center, they said, hell no, we about to run to the store and get us a center. Zach Martin retires. Hoffman is your projected right guard. Hell no, we about to run to the store.
Right.
And we about to get us a right guard. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So they felt like that their right guard was enough of a need to put Booker in this conversation with the rest of the guys. At least you ain't got no scrub. Booker gonna go out there and beat the hell out of people. He's gonna be ready day one. He's gonna be strong. The problem that you had with Guyton was Guyton ain't strong. Guyton wasn't physical. BB was so good year one because he's strong, he's physical. He may not have all the technique things down, all the center things down, but at least he's strong. You now have an opportunity. And I've been wanting to roll this one out on your ass too, Star. I just been busy. But the last Cowboy O-line that was great. You had 3 first-round picks. Mm-hmm. Leary was undrafted, and Free was a 4th-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
You got 3 first-round picks now. Terrence is undrafted, and instead of a 4th for Free, you got a 3rd in BB. So we straight. As long as Tyler Guyton shows up and not Dookie Water, as long as he's solid, he ain't even got to be first-round pick caliber. He ain't got to be legendary Cowboy offensive line caliber. Just don't stink it up. You ain't got to draft another offensive lineman for, or at least early. You ain't got to draft another early offensive lineman for 5 or 6 years, Star.
And before you go, sis, actually to kind of add on, Hoffman was actually skipped over when he was with the Browns too before coming to the Cowboys. He said the reason why he left there is because he was beat out by I think either the rookie that they drafted or someone that beat him out in camp, and unfortunately he was passed over again. So I mean,
Ethan Postage, his job. Ethan Postage, come on,
man.
You didn't betray me on our show.
No, I'm not betraying. I'm just saying that. I mean, I said before we came on, like, look, I had time to think, and we needed to draft a staple. I mean, like Voch said, we have youth along the line. I mean, and just looking at the guard position. I mean, even though it's crazy competition, they brought in a lot of guys with a lot of free agency as well. It's just like, why not go ahead and bring in that staple piece at the guard so that way you can hate to say, I only want to use the word rebuild, but just build a younger line. And we talk about going with youth. It's just why not go ahead and hit that staple position right now while we already have young guys at the left tackle position just coming in last season.
Boy,
don't laugh, Lou. I'm not Team Trenches by.
You Team Trenches today. Listen to what you say. No.
Huh? I said I'm not Team Trenches. This gave Team Trenches a whole case. I can't believe this.
No. Best player. Look, since you said best player, right? Best player available, right? We needed that position. The line. That's where it starts at the line.
Fight back. Go ahead. Fight back, Star.
Okay, listen what I'm saying. I think that Brock Hoffman. Now, am I saying that Brock Hoffman is going to be all pro? No. No, I'm not saying that. Okay. But I do think that Brock Hoffman has the potential to at least grow into what we call a Tyler Biadasz type, where it's like, listen, is he the strongest? No, he's not.
That's the goal. Tyler Biadasz is the goal. That's
He's the starting center. He's the starting center in the NFL, trained by Duke. So I'm not saying that Hoffman was just going to be world all be all, but this is the front office because they had these holes in these spots. And so when it came to what is more the priority, getting another guard where I feel like we have depth there that I feel like can do decently versus not having a number 2, that's where my issue lies.
You describing Jalen Tolbert. And look, this is my problem though, Scott. One more thing too, though, and look, we ain't fighting. We just talking, right? We just talking.
Jalen Tolbert, what? What'd you say?
Like you're describing Jalen Tolbert. Like he ain't no world beater. He ain't crazy, but he can grow into being Terrence Williams. He can develop. That's how you describing it. And listen, we shouldn't be fighting each other. We shouldn't be discussing this. The Eagles had a great draft because their team was built already. You know what I'm saying? They went into the draft with all the wide receivers, all the corners, the running backs, the offensive linemen, the damn D-line. No matter what they drafted, they were fine. So the fact that we having this conversation is the Joneses' fault. But we just can't pretend that Brock Hoffman, who's an undrafted free agent, will be starting for you, and Jalen Tolbert, who is the touchdown leader on the roster right now. You needed help in both places. And look, it is what it is. You may like Hoffman enough, but the Cowboys just simply disagree. And also, too, one more thing that we should be thinking about. Let me give you a good example. If this was Tennessee, Tennessee would love to have Jalen Tolbert and Brock Hoffman. We trying to win Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to compete for real.
Yeah.
Because we have Dak and Dak is in this window. So we in real life just can't be like, oh well, he's decent enough that we won't die there. Because the other teams that you competing against ain't trying to hear that. The Minnesota Vikings, just in case you run into them in the playoffs, they signed Hargrave and Jonathan Allen.
That's true.
They spending money on both.
I only got Allen. Oh my god.
They got Allen. They got Allen. That's true.
You can't afford to cut corners and save money when you're playing against the competition. If you're trying to work yourself out of being a bottom 10 team, sure, step up somewhere, Jonathan Mingo. But you're trying to beat the best teams in the league. You need better people, and Booker is better people.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, having Booker,
I know it's nice to have Booker. I know I'm right. Please. Damn right I'm right. You seen that film I've been posting? Every time I post something, I see you lurking. Come on now.
With Booker, I think that it is going. I mean, ultimately, having Tyler Smith, BB going in his second year, and then having Booker, like, you really are solidifying your interior, and should have a lot of time. If we can get our guy Guyton, which, let's talk about Guyton. I know we're talking about draft, but I want your opinion on Guyton, because Duke came out and said, in order for him to make the jump, he got a lot to work on or something like that. And so I'm trying to see, because my thing is, okay, we got an offensive lineman, but I'm like, what if Tyler Guyton don't perform well? Or what if Terrence Steele? Like, will y'all be saying, let's draft another offensive lineman in the first? That's my question. Because when I look at Tyler Guyton, to me, I saw him get better throughout the year, but I still saw the penalties was a mess. I'm not gonna lie. I think he led us in penalties. He might have been one of the worst in the league in the penalties, so I can't lie about that. It was awful. But to me, his play got better. I didn't see. To me, it's like more so of his strength than in a technique issue where he kept getting beat inside, which I don't know why. I think they said, Solari, we call him terrorist Solari over here. He or Solari bin Laden, he changed their kick step or something like that, where they were both getting beat on the inside. So, like, what's your evaluation of Guyton? Do you think that Guyton's gonna have a better year too?
This is my problem with the raw player, with the player that got a lot of room to grow, and one day he got the traits to be a Pro Bowler. One day, I'm not a big fan of those guys. I think when you're drafting, not like teams, but like us, you know what I mean? Like you have to figure out if you're floor guy or girl or ceiling guy or girl. I love a high floor. Well, nothing made me smile more than a high floor. What's a high floor? Tyler Booker's a high floor. He's whooping SEC talent, not just stalemate, not just I'm meeting you at the line of scrimmage and we wrestling a little bit. I showed you today, Tavondre Sweat falling, tripping all over the place because Tyler Booker pushed him and he won't stop. That's high floor.
Yeah.
Tyler Guyton is a clear example of the type of high ceiling that I hate. I like a high ceiling player because Booker has a high ceiling. If Booker fixes his feet and he don't lunge as much, Booker would be better. But your floor can't be so low that I'm only looking at your ceiling and ignoring how low your floor is. That's why I disagree when people say, oh, well, Tyler Guyton's really a right tackle. He's not a right tackle. He's going to have those same problems on the right side that he's had on the left side. This ain't an ambidextrous issue. Because as a center, I used to be a center. And one thing about being a center is you have to be able to play both sides. I may have to slide left, which changes my feet, or slide right, which changes my feet. And if you just do something your whole life, you build habits to that side. And then you got to switch that side. Guyton was a tight end. He ain't got no damn habits. He ain't got 5 years of right side. He got 11 games of playing the right side. That's not enough.
Yeah.
To say that you're just gonna go to left side and just be a disaster. He's not strong. He doesn't have technique right now. He doesn't trust the little bit of strength that he has, so he holds. And when he fall all on the ground, he don't let go, which is more holding.
Yeah.
What Tyler needs to do is get strong and get peanut butter in his body so he gets bigger. Yes, fantastic. Tyler Guyton's got some of the best feet I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
As an offensive lineman. But put his ass in the tight end or something if you ain't finna do the other stuff right.
Yeah.
So I need you to work hard to get the way you need to be. Tyler Smith had terrible technique also. But he's strong as all get out. His hand will be on one shoulder and the other hand will be grabbing the jersey, but he's so strong, you stop moving. Guyton don't have that strong. BB got that strong. Booker got that strong. Guyton don't have that. So what Tyler Guyton has to do is he has to overwork himself to get to a point to where he was playing tight end in college. I don't even know if he played football in high school, but he has to put in so much work that he has to become an NFL football player in 2 off seasons.
Okay.
Going to Duke Manyweather is a great start. But when Duke comes out and say, hey man, that's up to him if you want to be great or not, that shit sounds bad.
Sounds terrible.
Especially when the rest of your offensive line is Manyweather guys. Even Booker's a Manyweather guy. I can't wait to ask him, hey man, what did Duke do for you? Because I'm in the building, I'm just running the Booker or something. Hey man, what did humbly, respectfully, what did Duke do for you?
Yeah.
And actually, kind of piggybacking on that, I mean, talking about guys, switching sides. Like I know Booker was on the left side, so I know expecting to go to the other side, playing right guard.
Well, him strong. Even if he does it backwards, you know what I'm saying? Because typically he might step, because he's a left-sided player, so he may step left and punch with his outside hand, which is his left hand. On the other side, your outside hand is your right hand. So he might punch with the wrong hand, but that hand's strong and it don't let go. So he gives himself a little more room to make mistakes. Guyton ain't got a strong hand. Guyton got quick feet. Guyton got quick feet, but that ain't gonna help you. Somebody running down you. Please go ahead.
So basically what I'm hearing is if you have technical issues but you have strength, that can make up for a lot, basically. But if you don't have the technique issues and you don't have strength, you can be, looking like Tyler Guyton, where he did struggle. You know what I'm saying? He was struggling. He was going back to, poor habits and lunging and stuff like that. So I think that, I guess with Guyton, we just got to hope for the best. Hopefully, Connor Riley, we need to do a prayer circle. Connor Riley and Clay Adams, they can just get their hands on him. And really,
I think it's totally possible. So a lot of people talk about the big three being Booker and BB and Smith. I mean, my big three I think of is Schottenheimer, Riley, and Adams. I mean, I think the collaboration of those minds together, I think it's going to be winners for our offense. I mean, there's the way I was looking at some games from last season. I actually was watching the Cardinals game and the Niners game last season. Just trying to see how the Cardinals were able to, number one, beat the Niners. I know it's a divisional game. Usually those games are tougher. And actually just looking at, I would say the game-saving drive and the game-winning drive when they actually was able to kick the field goal to win the game. I saw a lot of, inside zone, outside zone. Clay Adams talked about that, doing different things with the line, not just, kind of pigeonholing, trying to make you guys fit into one scheme. Actually fits your guys. So I think I saw a lot from, not just from that game. I saw them moving the ball. He talked about that, not just, being able to kind of protect the ball in a different manner. He talked about it in his draft interview, being able to do more than just dropping back. So I think, and I just kind of compared it because usually in those situations, Cowboys would kind of panic. I know it was McCarthy's offense, but in those situations they would panic. Late third quarter, going to the fourth quarter, we're down 2 scores. Okay, we got to pass. But actually, in that game, that offense came out running the ball. The first plays of the drive, running the ball, getting the ball. And actually that kind of just my light bulb kind of went off. They talked about James Conner a lot. They talked about him last year being with the Cardinals a lot. Being able to move the ball, move the line of scrimmage. That was a first thing he said to Tyler Brooklyn when they drafted him, moving the line of scrimmage. So I just think they're going to be able to do a lot for our offense. And, just, to your point, sis, then bringing in Maffa and then bringing in a speed back like Jaden Blue, from Texas. I just really think, these three minds together, we're going to do wonderful for our offense.
Yeah, I agree with that, sis. And I like how you pointed that out about how, like you're going in and getting intel from Clayton's previous team to see like, okay, what did you do? How did you end up winning this game? And I think it's important because, we are hopefully going to get back to running the ball, and doing play action and not, so much static offenses, that we were living in under Mike McCarthy, which I think really, when you come to Mike's scheme, he did not have the players. He didn't have the body type to run that type of scheme that he was trying to run. It just was a disaster. A lot of little dudes that just wasn't for those big curl routes and slants and zig routes. Like that's not for Turpin or
Brandon Cooks. Like, come on.
I think this offense would be so much better if the receivers just don't run upfield and turn around every play. Every single play. Just run upfield and turn. I was watching the game or whatever DLL is. We just be in there watching the game. And I was like calling it. And they was thinking, man, Voch, you some kind of football genius. And I say, no, they just that's how they get down. They run
right.
You just curl, run the ball on third and 10. Look, slant. It's predictable. If Schottenheimer's simple, they can keep the same plays. The plays ain't bad.
Yeah.
Because when they call the right ones, them shits work.
Exactly.
Just don't keep calling the same hitches and slants every play.
Exactly. It's like I know we've got more in the playbook than that, Mike. But it's
right.
We gotta salute to Mike. You know what I'm saying? He did the best he could. 12-3, 12-5 seasons, but now we on the shoddy. And
Yeah, and he bigged us up at the draft too. I don't know if you guys saw him there. Speaking well about the team. Spoke well about Dak Prescott.
Saying that the first rant dude, he won a job.
Well, he had that suit on, didn't he? I'm like, okay, Mike, I ain't seen you in nothing but a sweatsuit, but I see you. He was not shy. He was not shy on that day.
Been like, hey, I'm still out here. But it's
I can't get no job. Ain't nobody finna give Mike McCarthy no damn money to call no plays. Is you crazy? Ain't nobody finna pay Mike McCarthy no real bread to go call no plays.
But it's like Mike, even when it comes to let's not, because I can just go in on Mike. I'm sorry, but let's get off of Mike. Let's go into the draft. So we talked about Tyler Booker, and then our second round pick was Donovan Ezaraku out of Boston College. And so I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the players that we picked, I did not watch them pre-draft. So, I kind of want to talk to sis. Did you watch Donovan?
I watched a little bit of his tape, but just like you said, like not a lot of it. I think I took just a little bit of notes of what I did watch on him, but definitely not a lot.
Okay, Voch, I know you watched him, and so do you think Donovan comes in today and is going to be challenging Fowler, or you think he comes in today and he's challenging Sam Williams and Marshawn Neal?
We was talking to Coach Whitecotton on the draft show or whatever. I say this humbly, but I hope y'all don't think I'm just talking shit. I was just on doing something.
No, we clap. Yes, he is a content creator that's on the draft show. Right. So he should be recognized for that. Okay.
No, thank y'all so much. But I was just talking.
And recently on Cowboys Break too. We saw you on there too. So we.
Y'all like my suit? Did y'all like my suit? That's new.
Yep.
I like the suit. I like the jacket that you did.
I be wearing Nike Techs and shit. So you know what I'm saying. I feel good at this. You know what I'm saying.
It was very good.
Thank you. We was talking to Coach Whitecotton, and he was like, we need a whole bunch of D linemen. We need all different types of D linemen, all different shapes, sizes, and colors. And I asked him, I said, well, what about you one Tex? You like him 330 pounds or you like him 310 pounds? Just kind of get an idea of who he likes. And he just like guys that make plays. He like all of them. So I'm taking that information, and I think that they're going to, run all the edges and the tackles, of course. They're going to run them in sets or whatever. So if it's going to be like a rundown, Marshawn Nealon's like a rundown guy. Mike is going to be on the field all the time. Mozzie will probably be around. Jay Toya. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but he 300. What is that name?
Jay Toyota.
Toyota. Okay, he's
bro.
He's 340 pounds. He's going to be in your run set. Oates is not going to come off the field much. If it's a passing down, Donovan's going to be around. Dante's going to be around. Mike is going to be around. I imagine Sam will be in that rotation of pass rush guys. So how I look at Donovan is he's not going to be like an early run game guy for you. He can play the run, but he's not a specialist in the run. That'll be Marshawn. That'll be Peyton Turner, guys like that. Even if you want to put Osa at edge sometimes, or like Solomon Thomas plays edge sometimes. Donovan's not going to specialize in run game right now. But those clear passing downs, those third and longs, or at the end of the game or something like that, go let Donovan fly. Go let Sam fly. Go let Dante fly. Now, to answer your question, nobody's talking to number 11. He's going to be doing this thing. Dante Fowler actually got sacks in the league. He got double-digit sacks in the league right now. So it wouldn't make sense to take him off the field in pass rush downs. But we often talk about sponsors and having somebody in the building vouching for you. Sam's sponsor was Dan Quinn, and he got hurt. We're 2 defensive coordinators removed from Sam having a sponsor.
Yeah.
So they don't owe Sam nothing, and he's off the ACL. So if I'm Sam, I need you to get 10 sacks in the preseason game and show me something.
Yeah.
That's true. True.
Because if not, sure. Schottenheimer said, "Oh, Dante Fowler, I like him. Micah's Micah, I like him. Oh, I drafted Donovan Ezraku, I like him." Sam was just on the couch when he walked in the house.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So Sam got to fight for his life. But if it's up to me, I think Donovan is your third pass rushing edge right now behind Dante and Micah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they said the Joneses said in the press conference that they expect him to be, ready by OTAs, early camp activities. So, I mean, I don't know if it puts a fire, underneath them as far as them trying to hurry them up. But I mean, they said they expect them to be out there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those guys. And what's up to everybody in the chat? Wee Woo, JC popped in. What's up, JC Cowboys?
Yes, Sports Junkie.
Look at them views, boy. Appreciate y'all for being here. Salute.
Thank you to everybody who's in the chat. I really appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us. I think that, when it comes to Donovan Ezraku, I mean, when you may not have watched him, but when you look at those stats, you say, what? 16 and a half sacks? 21 tackles for loss? It's like, what is going on? So
60 pressures. 60 pressures.
It's just like, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you almost got there 60 times. And still that's my problem. That's why I was, and look, this goes back to floor versus ceiling. When I was hearing the Cowboys was like a Shamar Stewart and Michael Williams, I'm like, man, them dudes don't even get sacks, man.
That's what I'm saying. I was scared to death we were gonna pick Shamar Stewart. I was like, God, we can't do it. We cannot pick a guy who has how much sacks? 4 sacks.
Donovan got 16 and a half last year.
This man got 4 sacks over his whole career. I'm like, listen. I know what he did at the combine, but he's not Myles Garrett. You know what I'm saying? I know what the combine stats say, but no production, like absolutely not. So I'm glad the Cowboys did not do that because I was terrified. But so we got Donovan, and all of these guys are team captains. I think Donovan was a team captain, Booker's a team captain, and then now we go into our 3rd round pick, Siobhan Ravel, which I think with him is, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch him neither. I did watch his highlights. And he seems like a long rangey corner. They say his comp is Richard Sherman. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. But I think, of course, with him is the injury. Richard
Sherman, one of the greatest corners of all time. Just because he's long and can run, don't mean he got to go straight to Richard Sherman.
I'm like, listen, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They get kind of crazy with these comps, but he seems like a long rangey corner who also has ball skills. I'm gonna be honest, he don't have the ball skills of Diggs because I saw a lot of drops. But I will say that he still, he still has some skills. Diggs is on a different level, I feel like, when it comes to hands for a cornerback. Because most of the times you convert a wide receiver to corner when they don't got that great hand. Yeah. But, with Diggs, he's just a special. Him and Bland, I feel like, are a special type of cornerbacks that have the ball skills. When we talk about Siobhan Ravel, if he hopefully, or Revel, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but
Both of them. Either way, you're right.
Rebel, rebel,
I got
whatever.
time for all this small little. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
Ted McMillan came out and said, "Don't call me Ted. Why would you call? I don't know where Ted come from. Boy, your name Ted Aroa, nigga. That's where Ted come from. Sick of all these boys.
I said just say Ted.
I'm sick of, remember Jason Owe? He went to Penn State and now he went to Ravens, but he changed his name. Now he not Jason no more. Nigga, what happened to Jason? Yeah, I ain't got time.
He said, "I get it now. You will call me by my roots," which is
Revel, whatever.
Okay,
I know what you talking about. I know what you saying.
But Devon Revel, like so, hopefully he comes back because he missed the whole 2024 season because he got hurt, I think, in practice at the beginning of the 2024 season. So he missed the whole season, but months ago, you know, he's kind of running full speed and stuff like that. Of course, running on a treadmill is different than covering, but you know, at least what I'm saying is it looks like he's made good progress. Steven says he'll be, you know, he's gonna start camp on pup, but he'll be off or whatever. That's what he said. So we'll see, because we know they like to rush people back. That'd be my issue with the Cowboys. They'll say, yeah, he's ready to go. He's ready to go. But
yeah, was
Michael Gallup ready to go? No. I don't think Diggs was ready to go. I don't think Steele was ready to go. But
so this is, out there. Let me tell you what I've been theorizing about and thinking about. I think your return from major injury depends on how much work that you put into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about Overshawn, right? And Overshawn, a linebacker, he's an explosive linebacker, but he worked hard. So when he was going through his rehab, like, we heard how hard that he worked at it, and he came back and he didn't even miss a step. Like, he was fine.
Yeah.
Gallup didn't come back right, and Diggs didn't come back right. But we later hear Gallup don't love football. And Jerry just came out and said it 2 weeks ago. Hey man, Diggs ain't work hard to get back.
Right.
Yeah. Right. He did say that.
Yeah, so it just in my mind, maybe it depends on the actual player and how hard they work to get back. I know for a fact Rebel worked hard to get back. You know what I'm saying? That's everybody in the league says that. Like when they was going through the whole and all the insight was kind of talking about it or whatever. Hey man, Rebel worked hard to get back. Rebel working hard to get back. Hey, Dr. Cooper and them. And when he gets to Britt Brown, he gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's on time with everything. Yep. All the guys that don't come back from injury, well, they was either lazy or they just retired 1 year after that. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm still nervous. I'm still nervous about Rebel coming back. But as far as value goes, this is the Cowboys' biggest value because if Rebel didn't get hurt, I think he's a first round type of corner. He was a second round pick for me. If he wasn't hurt, he would be a first round pick. And everybody ain't got to have him as a first round pick, but at least everybody can agree that he's a top 50 type player.
Right. And so before the third. Like
right. So getting him at 76 is stupid value. He did play this year, but he only played like 3 games. Okay. And he was really starting to get a handle on, get a handle on the football, right? If you watch App State, it was old some Dominion something. Okay. Some other bullshit ass school that we never heard of. Like you actually saw him starting.
I think I watched this Florida Atlantic. I think I watched them versus Florida. I think FAU. I watched some of his highlights versus them. Yeah, I like his highlights. I like that he can play both sides. I mean, because late in the season we need guys who can potentially travel. You know what I'm saying? Especially if Diggs comes back late. You know what I'm saying? Or give him time to kind of come back too to kind of get his groove going. I mean, we need somebody who can play both sides. I mostly seen him play outside. I don't know if does he play inside as well, Voch? I'm not sure. Most of the highlights I've seen, he played mostly outside.
I didn't see him line up inside too much, but I don't think that he couldn't do it. I just wouldn't just come out and flat out say that he just can't do it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's kind of upsetting me about this whole Revel thing or whatever, I said both names on purpose, is that we are always going to be so removed from the trifecta, from the big 3. You know what I'm saying? Like we never get 3 wide receiver or corner. We never get 3 dudes on the field at the same time.
Ever.
Right.
Never. Somebody got to be hurt. Somebody got to be going through something. It's always something.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I think we're close. Like Diggs, Revel, and Bland on the field at the same time is stupid.
It's
stupid good.
Yeah.
But I think Revel is Diggs' insurance. I think if Diggs was healthy, he would have got traded. That ain't me telling you what I know. I just heard 3 people say it.
Okay.
So I'm telling y'all on y'all show. I think if Diggs was healthy, he would have been. I think the Jones is sick of him.
I do too. I said I
You
think
don't blast somebody like that. You don't blast somebody like that unless you're tired of them. Unless you.
I just don't. I'm like, I think that they feel like, now granted, I've had pushback because people are like, of course they rushed him back like it wasn't Diggs, but I'm like, I don't know. I just cannot recall Jerry ever talking about somebody not rehabbing right. It's like, why would he say that? But we know Jerry messy though. He is messy and he likes to do stuff for headlines. So it's like, I don't know.
And you heard him just kind of break down. He's like, yeah, they talk about our medical staff, but it's really the staff that that prevents injuries that needs help, not necessarily the guys who can help maintain guys being healthy. So it's like you still need medical staff, Jerry. It's not like this. Why are you get down to the details? It's just like.
So I think I do think that like maybe Pretty Ricky was right. Ricky thought about they was gonna trade Diggs. What's his name on Twitter? They call him Ricky. I call him Pretty Ricky, the dog.
Oh yeah, oh boy.
Yeah, Ricky. Yeah,
I didn't know where you was going with this. I like Pretty. Are we talking about one person? Or we talking about 5 people?
I'm talking about grind on me, Pretty. I'm talking about.
You got a YouTube channel in the chat right now. Who is Pretty Ricky? Do I know him? Does he know me? I know who Pretty Ricky was, but I know that.
But yeah, with Diggs, I think they're done with him. I think that they are really disappointed, and I think just the play last year, like that one time Zimmer called him out. They're like, what was going on? He was like, I don't know what his problem is. We were a man, so you need to ask him what his problem is, like why he didn't pick that up. So it's just like, damn, I just feel like Jerry looking at him, I'm feeling like they about to oust him. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they got Rivel. And I feel like
that's not the case though. You know what I'm saying? Because I would love to see all of them on the field together. I would love to see Bland go back to nickel where he really be tearing shit up at.
Right.
And let Diggs and Rebel play outside. I would love to see that, but salary cap league, I guess. So
this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? We don't like to build around here. We like to replace. So it which sucks because it's like build on the talent that you have, but we don't like to do that. We're like, we're tired of you. We're getting this, and then they're gonna be shipping it. They're gonna be writing articles. Trayvon Diggs might be a cap casualty. Trayvon Diggs might be a cap casualty. He's gonna be traded or cut. So this is what they do. But
if you need them, you need Diggs.
Exactly, because right now I'm like, do we need to sign another veteran corner?
Shit, I want to draft another corner. I want to, bring Gilmore in. Why not? Because even having Revel Ravel up, I said both names on first. Even having Revel Ravel up in here, and he say he good, I still haven't seen that you good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because look, then what the Eagles do? The Eagles will bring help in.
Right.
And even if they've drafted like they drafted Jordan Davis 1 year, but he wasn't ready. They didn't bring in some bullshit tackle to put under Jordan Davis.
Right.
They brought in Dominic Sue in and he pushed Davis down the roster.
Right. Sue and Linville.
Josh Sweat pushed Nolan Smith down the roster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Push these dudes down the roster. Maddox was starting and making plays. Push that nigga down the route. You know what I'm saying? Right. But we do the opposite.
We're like, let's get somebody that's either your level or below, so that it makes. Because Stephen thinks that when you bring in talent, it makes it hard for the draft picks to get on the field. It's like that's how it's supposed to be, Stephen.
Tyler Guyton gave us issues. Chuma Adoga took his job. You don't bring back Chuma Adoga. That nigga signed Hakeem Adeniji.
Who've been out the league for 2 years. It's like, what do we do? It's like, Steven
Charles quit football. His rent due. That's why he back.
Right.
I bet him that part. Why we why we bring in people that push the bad people up the roster?
Exactly. I don't know why we do that.
What you mean? We go bring Justin Rogers back from the Bengals practice squad. What you mean? Practice squad? I thought you was sick of Mozzie. Mozzie got to step up now. But you traded a fourth for Jonathan Mingo that may not be better than Tolbert. That fourth could have got you somebody better than Tolbert.
Exactly.
Yeah, there were a lot of guys who win that fourth.
Jameson Williams go for a 3, and you got Mingo for a 4?
A 4.
Because Tolbert got to step up. Is you crazy?
We totally got fleeced on that trade. I don't care nobody. He doesn't have any stats, no touchdowns. And this is not knocking Mingo because it looked like, and also shout out to Boss. Y'all know Boss is my main guy. So Boss, thank you for being in here. Supporting.
Appreciate you, Boss.
So proud of Boss because he's growing. Hopefully we can get him a 10K pretty soon. But shout out to Boss. But yeah, I think that is Boss said that's the point of the year, and that is the point of the year. Like, why do we build teams to? It's like we want to make it easy. We want to make it easy for the draft picks to win the role, as opposed to let's bring somebody in to where we know if our draft picks are on the field over them, that they really ready, they really like that. But instead, we're like, let's bring this guy in that we know you're not going to play this guy over this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you brought this guy in for depth. You're already solidifying positions. And I think, shout out to Boss. I do think that that's what's poisoning us. And it is destroying our windows. They're like, where is our true competition? Why are we always... And it would make me mad because Jerry just be confirming everything we think. He's like, yeah, because I believe in competition, but you follow the money. It's like, Jerry, like, follow the money. So whoever you pay, it's just common sense. You play him. It's like, no, Jerry, that's not football. Like, just because you pay a nigga, if he ain't good, you could put him on the bench, whether you played him or not. I mean, where do you pay them?
And they only pay their guys. So it's not like you give other guys chances to get paid because you only pay your guys. So essentially, you only end up playing your draft picks because you pay him.
Miles Sanders couldn't beat Chuba Hubbard. He got kicked off the damn team and couldn't be. And Chuba Hubbard got paid too. They kicked him off the team. Chuba Hubbard. And you know what we said?
What have you?
Give me one of them. I'll take 2 of them. I'll take 2. Give me Javonte 2. I'll take a dozen of them.
It's just so frustrating. It's like, Javonte, you may still have something. But I think Miles Sanders is like, we watched you, Miles. You're not looking good. So I'm like, hopefully he's the man now. But let's talk. Let me see. 5th round, we got Jaden Blue.
Actually, yeah.
I didn't watch him either.
Who you watch, Star?
I swear.
I was watching one of y'all shows and you had a report for Phil Moffa ready to go. I say, damn, Star, how you watch Phil Moffa between you watch Donovan?
I went deep on the 2 things. I was like, we must draft, and that was wide receiver and running back. I was like, we must draft these guys. So it's like everybody else, I watched you sporadically, but it's like when it came to Jaden Blue, I was like, woo, who's that? I have no idea, but they said he's the most, second most, probably after. I don't know, but they said he's like top end explosive players, and I do want everybody to know this is a Will McClay pick. So if he turns out or don't turn out, we're putting it on Will McClay because Jerry was like, Will McClay wasn't one like every round, like, we need to get blue.
Oh, he did say that. Oh, okay. Wow.
So Blue looks explosive. People say his knock really is that the fumbling issues.
Yeah. He ran a 4.39 with a bad growing. Then he healed up and ran again at Texas, ran a 4.25. You know what I'm saying? And the film checks out. You could watch it and it checks out. But he's not like a speedy guy to where he like you ever seen Deuce get hit and he like fly 10 feet? Like they'll bump into him and it's feet the ground, he'll just fly. Yeah, Jadon actually runs with some decent gravity. He actually thumps a little bit. But I think he really gonna make noise like running routes and like catching passes and whatnot. And not just like swing routes and Texas routes. Like, let me say something else really pissed. I get pissed off a lot. Let me say something else. Zeke was our leading pass catcher one year, but his routes was if everything was covered down, like downfield, he'll just catch that little curl route or whatever, that little dump off route, and they consider Zeke one of our. I hate that shit so much. Slow running ass up out of here. Jadon Blue.
Well, we said they was doing it with Rico as well too. Yeah, last season, you know, them little dump off, little 2-3 yards. It was like
Rico was a little better, but they was real bad by Zeke. Oh, Zeke's one of the leading receivers. Like, you know, they ain't watching film, but Blue would line up at slot. He'll line up wide, and he'll really run routes. He'll run slants, corners. He'll run the seam. He'll give head fakes, hand fakes. He'll shake the shit out of people. Like, Blue is a legit route runner. So you may not get your wide receiver 2 in the draft, but you do have a pass catcher in Jadon Blue that I think you have to target him 5 times a game, 3, 4, 5 times a game, and 12 carries or so. I think that's a good dose of work for him. And then once he catches the ball, he turns into 4-2-5 guy again. You know what I'm saying? So I think Blue will be good. I don't know if Blue's gonna start. I think he can. But I think they're gonna let Williams start, and then they're gonna run Blue up out of there.
Yeah.
But now we have conflicts because if you Deuce Vaughn, they just brought somebody in that's like 3 inches taller than you and do what you do. You know what I'm saying? So now he's in that. You know, now
I blame Mike McCarthy. Because you never. Besides preseason, and we always be like, "Oh my God, look at Deuce in the preseason." Then we get to the real season and might give him 2 to 3 carries. Like, what is he supposed to do with that? It's just sad. And now I feel like when they bring in somebody that's your prototype, it's telling me that maybe they don't want you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, maybe they probably gonna cut you or bring you back as a practice squad player, or he could be a player that just stays on the team because again, his dad works for the team. So
I thought maybe Deuce would have had a leg up then bringing in, you know, his former coach Connor Riley, you know, kind of working in, you know, him being the new offensive line coach. I thought maybe they would find more opportunities for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like I
also 2 seasons, but when they bring in clothes, I'm like, this is out, bro, because it's like where he gonna
play? If they would have got like a big thumping back early, then maybe Deuce be all right. They got somebody who is Deuce, who is 4 inches taller and faster than him. So it's probably a wrap.
It's probably a wrap, but Deuce, I love you, and hopefully you go to a team that appreciates you. I really believe in him. We just had a dumbass that didn't believe in running the ball. But anyways, and so I think our next piece is Shamar James.
Yeah.
Out of Florida. He seems like he's an overshown type to me, really, just flying around everywhere, making plays. And he's only 20 years old, so that's another thing. It's like, he's a very young player. They look like Eberflus is like, this is gonna be my beloved project. That's what he looked like, because Eberflus looked like he was through the moon. What's your thoughts on Shamar James?
I will say, if you have a linebacker whisper, then that'll give you a little more room to take a linebacker with flaws, I would say, and try to fix them. I wasn't a big fan of James. But I was watching him as every team would watch him. I thought he got lost. I didn't think he processed very well. I thought he was guessing. He ran around in a circle a lot. I hate when linebackers run around in a circle. Like they run upfield and the ball go that way, so they got to run around the circle. Get back. So I can't stand running around the circle linebackers. Yeah. But they're going to use him as a limited job blitzing pass rushing character. You know what I'm saying? So if you a linebacker, you got a lot of jobs. If like if you a Mike or something like that, right? You got a lot of jobs.
Right.
And maybe at Florida he had a lot of jobs. But if he lines up for us and say, all right, your job, rush the passer, that's it. Contain, that's it. First back out, that's it. Hook and curl, that's it.
Yeah.
Flats, don't think about it too much, but just run to the flats. Don't worry about nothing in front of you. Look at the quarterback, just run to, and that's it.
Okay.
If you limit his jobs, then maybe he'll have to think less, and he'll be a better processor. When I watched Florida, he ran around the circle, and he just pissed me off. But I'm gonna rewatch him with cowboy eyes. I'm only gonna look at the plays of him blitzing and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Sis, you have anything on Shamar?
I didn't watch a lot of his notes. I did. Give me 1 second. Shamar James. I did watch just a little bit of his highlights, not a lot, but I did think that he showed some patience at the second level. I thought he was a ball tracker who can kind of play like Bosch just said, play around the line of scrimmage, but also kind of leak into coverage. Yeah, I do gotta dive a little bit more into his tape. And I thought, because I wasn't familiar with him before. So by watching a little bit of his highlights, I thought he was a Mike linebacker, but kind of watching some of his scouting reports, they said he played mostly well in college. So I mean, like I said, yeah, I mean, some of the film, I watch, shout out to Professor O. He posted that tweet, with the film of the players that the Cowboys drafted. So just watching some of that film, I do like Sis say, I do like how he flies around. I saw that he had an interception in some of the film I was watching. So I do like that he makes plays. Guys we saw earlier today some of the guys are already starting to get cut. Malik Davis. I think bringing in a guy like Shamar James. Of course, I think that threatens a guy like Damone Clark. Saying some of our depth guys. So I think I like someone. No offense to Damone Clark, but I like someone who shows awareness on the field and knows the direction of the ball. Someone who can track the ball and also is not afraid to step up and hit. I mean, that's some of the knocks that we had. Against Damone Clark and. So I like that they brought in a guy. I believe he's a 5th round pick, so not completely mad. I mean, we do have Overshown coming back, and it also gives time. I know we went in free agency as well, so I like that they're giving time for at least in certain position groups, giving time for the young guys. Overshown, Maris as well. I know they brought in Murray, but he kind of gives Maris a little bit more time to kind of learn a little bit more of the Mike position. And give him time to grow too. Doesn't put so much pressure on his back. At least I believe.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I feel like you bring him in because he can be like a little Overshown underling, basically. Because Overshown, the way he was playing last year, had he not got hurt, I really think he was putting together a crazy campaign. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now, would they have made him all-pro? Hell no, see Cowboys. They always snub us for shit. But I think that he at least was on, to me, he was on a Pro Bowl, all-pro trajectory, what he was doing. So, if we can get him back, that would be great. But I think if you bring in a Shamar, like I said, a little Overshown underling, they can kind of do the same things. They kind of fly around with this reckless abandon. They bring that attitude that clearly Flus and Shoddy won't on this team. Because I feel like everybody they brought in is guys they're captains, but they're also guys with attitude. So not like clap captains like Jason Garrett, like, oh, he's a leader and all of that stuff. But more so, more of like a more dog mentality that is going to lead with not just talk, but play as well.
Yeah.
And then I want to talk about Johnny Cornelius that everybody was pissed off because everybody's like, really? Did we really need another offensive tackle? But Stacey, did we not talk about how we needed another offensive tackle?
Well, yes, and actually, I was. Go ahead, Bosch.
No, please.
No, I was just before actually hopped on here. I was talking to Star. I think we actually mentioned Johnny Cornelius on one of our previous shows in the past couple of weeks, and we were talking about that. Hoping that we can kind of shore up our tackle depth. I know, we don't really have a lot of left tackle, but specifically right tackle. I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. We talked about Terrence Steele. Kind of being the older, one of the older vets on the line, and I think Johnny could provide, decent depth for Terrence Steele. At least as far as my notes of him that I took, even before the draft, I said that a durable player who had allowed 0 sacks his junior year, had a pass blocking grade of 85.9, lines up well versus edges, and does very well at mirroring counters. But one knock I did have for him, he had a lot of flags. I think 2024 had 25 flags. So that's one knock against him. But I mean, 25 flags and actually, hold up, let me see. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry, 25 flags in 3 seasons. I'm sorry about that. In 3 seasons, but hopefully he can. Hopefully work through that. Getting into the NFL, it's a different level. But I just kind of put towards the end of my notes that he, a guy that can come in and take the place of Matt Waletzko. We can finally get his name, off the depth chart. But as far as depth, being behind Terrence Steele, I'm not mad at all. That's why I was kind of confused when they, announced him as a guard. It's like, we already have enough guards, but we could surely use tackle depth, especially if he, is coming in playing right tackle. Why not have him back up Terrence Steele, who's, granted he has played 100% of his snaps since returning from that injury, but it doesn't hurt to have, tackle depth at all.
Right, we needed depth because I always ask, like, okay, if Guyton goes down or whatever, I'm assuming they're going to put Austin Richards out there. I heard they really don't want to move Tyler Smith anymore. Will they? I don't know. But I think the plan would be, okay, we're going to put Austin out there. But then you think of the right side. I'm like, okay, but if Terrence still goes down, who's going out there for him? You know what I'm saying? So it's like we need that. But
they were lucky, sis. They were lucky, sis. They were lucky. They're very, very lucky that Steele didn't, re-injure or go down early in the season, because that, like you said, who's going out there? They would have to throw somebody out there.
Exactly. So, Voch, what you think about Johnny Cornelius?
Mickey gave a fantastic report of him. I was like, you don't even need me here. Go ahead, do your thing. Got an O-line guru up in here. You know what I'm saying? If I can add anything, though, I mean, you're not wrong about nothing you said. But if I can add anything to that, I mean, you said all the talking points. But he is a hand fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like as a pass rusher, he does try to work his hands a little bit, but he's not perfect at it. So when he does land with his hands, it's a fantastic block for him. But when he misses, he gives up his chest and he gets whooped a little bit. He starts falling all over the place. You probably saw that. But I was also a little lost when they called him a guard. I mean, he has the size to be a guard, but I think he's a tackle. Right. He's a length guy. He's a decent moving guy sideways or whatnot. So I think he's a tackle. I just think the Cowboys are labeling him as a right side player. Austin Richards plays, and Star took this point. Y'all just kill it. I ain't gonna say. But Austin Richards probably gonna be your backup left side guy, and Cornelius is gonna be your backup right side guy. And I was about to say this point too, but Star just said, but well, let's go. I mean, I'm just saying what y'all said now. I mean, hey man, let's go. What we're gonna do with him, man?
We got to call out. We got to get you out. Well, let's go.
Terrence still won't be here forever. Y'all just take all the talking. Hey. But no.
I think Nate Thomas too. I think does he play right side? I mean, we really haven't. I think they say he suffered kind of a, at least for me, behind the scenes injury, because I haven't heard much of him.
Man, we don't know shit about Nate Thomas. I was so mad at Star and them when they was talking about what about Nate Thomas coming in. See shit from Nate Thomas. You talking about let him come and play.
Bro, he's been a ghost, bro. Like
they gave him a fake injury. You know how they look.
You wanted a wide receiver so bad you was willing to live with Nate Thomas. Boy, you made me sick.
We need a wide receiver.
Literally, yeah.
That's what I'm looking right now. But before I get into that, I do want to talk about Jay Toya. That's how I like to say his name.
What's his name?
Jay Toya. And somebody said something, they were like, hey, can you do the haka? And he was like, I don't do the haka. I was like, yikes, that was kind of a cringe moment. I ain't gonna say his name, but that was hilarious.
Yo, Woodchuck, man. Woodchuck said that shit. Yeah,
he do the haka.
he got the wrong race of island people. But it's all because look, I would have said it too. I'd have been racist as hell. Said it was all I can't say this over there. I can say it over here. I thought it was all the same. I was like, yeah, do that little dance that y'all did one day.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was the same thing. But yeah, man, Woodchuck said it. I ain't say it. Yeah, do that big eye dance y'all do with your eyes. Yeah, do that dance. But I didn't know. You said the Maoins do it. What they say? Maoins at? Is that like Maui? Is that Hawaii? What is it? I'm from Natchez, Mississippi. I don't know nothing about nothing. I don't know nothing about this.
His family is gonna have a mark on him. Like, who was that asked you this?
Right.
But yeah.
That is. But talk about Jay. I think people love who do people love? Carson. What's his name? Carson Sweatsinger.
I was a big Sweatshirt guy. I was hurt.
That was one. I mean, I don't think anybody expected him to go top of the second. I was like, golly. I was hurt when Quinshawn went out the board. And guess who took him? The Browns took both. That's like
damn Cleveland.
No,
Jay's
Jay. Talking about Jay, I think that I like what I see from Jay. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he got us a 340-pound man that has the ability to shed blocks, split the double teams. I really feel like he comes in the day, like looking at what like Dane Brugler said and stuff. They're like, listen, he comes in the day, he's gonna help you stop the run. They question his finishing ability because he is agile, but there's like a clip I showed in our review where it's like maybe he was a little bit quicker or maybe a little bit more long arm. He could have got Tyler Warren, but he couldn't get him because it's like he threw the tackle, like threw him like a bag of trash, but it's like still he wasn't able to get there quick enough. So I know that's his critique. And also, pass rush. He doesn't have pass rush, playing right now. It's more so just I'm gonna use my power, I'm gonna knock you back, I'm gonna just try to be as violent as possible. But we know in the NFL, I mean, everybody's strong. So doing just bull rush stuff ain't gonna work. But I think today he does. You put him in a rotation to come and help you stop the run. But what are y'all's thoughts on it?
Yeah. Let him be a rundown guy. Let him be heavy. Let him be active. For his size, he has a lot of activity. He got long arms. He can punch and extend on people, get his hands up, bat down passes. It's a cool pick. I think he's gonna be just a heavy one tech that moves around really well. I don't think he's gonna take Mozzie's job necessarily because I think they're gonna be two different types of people. I think Mozzie can play three tech sometimes. I don't think Jay is gonna be a B gap guy at all. But yeah, you're a solid pick. I'm cool with that. I would have rather one of the one techs earlier, but they started flying off the board though.
They went off so fast.
Nolan, Williams, Grant, and all those guys, they flew off the board. So I guess we had to wait till day 3. Go ahead, man.
I wanted Grant.
No, and even Star. Even one of my favorite. Remember, I was talking about Norman. He went to the Chiefs. I'm like, bro, and the Chiefs had a good draft too. I was mad. I'm like, bro, like
the Chiefs is so annoying. Like the
and
Chiefs,
Smith.
Yeah,
they got Basar Smith.
Got the left tackle.
Are you serious? Yes.
What's his name?
The left tackle from Ohio State.
Simmons, like the Chiefs low key kind of just silently smoked the draft. So did the Ravens. But the Ravens always smoke the draft. I feel like they just be drafting on autopilot, like, select another good player.
Right.
Like, they can never try.
It ain't fair at all.
With the Eagles too, it's like, oh, he's there. Oh, select him. Oh, he's there. Oh, select him. They really draft freely. You know what I'm saying? Because we go to the draft. Got our owners that lie to us, we filled all the holes before. No, you did it, you lying son of
lies.
Anyway,
right. No, just my quick notes on Toya right quick. I love this film, and I think actually just kind of reading his background. It said that he lettered in track, and I'm like, a big body dude, you saying running that fast? Yes, I read on this pro. Lettered in track, and also
track like shot put. Like, was he running or was he throwing a disc?
Actually, it was both. It said track and shot put and discus. So it said he lettered. I'm just.
I ran track for like 6 weeks, but I was shot put guy and I quit. I needed something to do with
the track. I know he did rugby. I guess was playing some.
It's actually. Yeah, a lot of his family, a lot of his brothers are rugby players. A lot of his brothers, I think one of his brothers plays for Philadelphia, I believe. Got drafted by the Eagles a couple of years ago. So I love his background. A lot of his family plays sports. I love that he's physical. Like pretty much like what you guys already touched on. Really around the ball a lot. Has a high motor. I like that. I think
high motor. I didn't bring that up, but that's true, sis. He does have a high motor.
Yeah, I
snap one to the last snap.
Yes, I love that. I think something like that. We talk about the little things. I think even something like that will kind of push guys like Mozzie, even a Rodgers, a Daxon if he somehow finds the field. I think something as small as that. I know that's something that they're preaching, pretty much, across the team about being around the ball, being physical, being running towards the ball, pushing the ball. But I think something like that, a guy's more like that will push a guy like Mozzie to always be around the ball. Be like, look, I need to up my competition. I need to up my conditioning. You know what I'm saying? To be able to keep up. We talk about Booker pushing the other guys on the offensive line. I think someone like Toya, I believe how you say his name, could push guys on the defensive line.
Yeah, that's a good fight. That's gonna be a good fight in camp.
Yep, I think it's gonna be a good fight. And I think our last 2 draft picks was Mafa and then Tommy.
Aking Basote.
Tommy Aking Basote and Mafa. Now I'm a fan of Mafa. Obviously, we are the Wizards, and we predicted that Mafa would be drafted in 67th round. That's exactly what happened. But
tell him, let him know.
That with Mafa, I do think if Mafa hadn't got hurt, he played through his injury, and when his injury happened, his stats went down the clip. You know, he was like 50, 60 yards. So I really think that's mostly because he played for Clemson. Not like he played for like a little school. I think that, you know, he was averaging like these 100-yard games, and then he got hurt, and his production fell off a cliff. And I think when his production fell off a cliff, everybody just basically forgot, because I didn't hear anybody ever talk about Phil Maffa. But I think that he brings you what Javonte Williams brings you. He's just a physical guy that's like, he's not real fast. Let me have in my notes. He's not fast, but he's fast enough. Like his longest run was like 90 or 80 yards or something. So it's like, he's not fast, but I mean, he can kind of move, you know, he got a little bit of wiggle. He's not just a straight, I'm just a power back. I can give you a couple yards and a cloud of smoke. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he can wiggle, he can move. And I do feel like he comes on here and challenges Williams. I know Williams is the more experienced back, but I feel like I would just like to see with the running back room just an open competition and just really let the best guy win. You know what I'm saying? Because you got 4 backs here plus Deuce if you keep him. I don't consider Lipke a running back. They play him like a tight end / fullback guy. So I'm like, if you have those guys, like. But honestly, I feel like shouldn't you just carry anyway? Because if you're gonna do a tandem, don't you need like 2 power backs and 2 speedy guys? That's kind of how I'm thinking they would do it. But I don't, in case one gets hurt. But I don't know what the Cowboys thinking is. But what are y'all thoughts on Maffa and Akeem Basote?
Go ahead, Mickey. You got it. And I'll just clean up wherever you don't.
I haven't watched a ton of Tommy Akingbasotse. We haven't seen his film just yet, but I love that they double dipped, even, you know, albeit 7th round. I love that they double dipped at a defensive tackle. I mean, especially with, you know, with these guys, you know, with the physical, with their height and weight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially compared to the rest of the guys, like I mentioned about the small thing. You know, as far as being around on the field, I think, you know, I think overall that the Cowboys have really looked at guys, and, you know, not just that, but the running back room, the defensive back room as well. You know, with Ravel coming in, he's the tallest guy in the room, so I like that they, you know, went bigger and taller at, you know, at various positions. But I do also like that they double dipped at running back as well. You know, I think, you know, they mentioned this in the press conference as well, that they chose Blue and they chose Maffa to kind of complement each other. And I think it's true. Like, and I think that Maffa, I think what I was telling Starters before we hopped on here, that Maffa could really give Williams, I think, true competition. You know, they have similar height and weight. And I think that, you know, Maffa being able to break through arm tackles, him being able to go in between the tackles, and actually watching some of this film from Clemson, I think it was versus Georgia, where they started deep in their own end zone. And I know it was McCarthy's offense, but the Cowboys did start, you know, deep in their own territory various times. And, you know, just seeing the plays that they implemented with Maffa, you know, some gap scheme where he was running behind the guard, but also some zone scheme where he was, you know, running in between the tackles. So I think they were able to actually get, you know, I think 30 plus, you know, at least to the 30-yard line, 35, able to actually get out of their own territory. So I like seeing that. I like seeing a back that you can depend on, you know, as Zeke at one point was that back that we can kind of depend on, you know, whether or not we're going to get out of our own territory. But I like that they picked up Maffa for that reason. And then, you know, the kind of, you know, for some of those home runs, that they also have a guy like Blue where they can kind of hand off with, or, you know, with certain plays. I know that Maffa can't necessarily hit the hole with that speed, but if you have a guy like Blue, you know, he's able to do that. So I think that two-headed competition, I mean, not competition, but that kind of that two-headed monster coming out the backfield, I think that's the reason that they brought in both Maffa and the Blue. I think that I sincerely think that they drafted the 2 running backs for the future, and that they have these vets to kind of back them up to allow them to kind of grow, not necessarily slowly, but to kind of develop to be ready for the NFL. And I think after this year, those guys are out of there. But I think even during the year, we could possibly see these 2 running backs eventually, you know, find their role and find their starting roles on this team.
Maffa big as hell, and he need to quit running like he's small. You know what I'm saying? He like to be shifty.
You want him to be more physical. Yeah, he do be trying to be shifty.
Just run that guy up. Quit playing.
Yeah.
And that's where Williams has the advantage. Williams will risk a brain injury just to run somebody over. That's why I think it's a little different. As far as Maffa goes, I don't think shotgun runs help him. You know, they'll line him up in that shotgun and hand the ball off to him sideways. I think he'll be better with a run and start. So we'll see how much the Cowboys are under center. That'll help him. But I think running back is weird to where You could draft the 7th round pick. I mean, last year we had an undrafted running back rush for 1,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? So
we did.
So we'll just see where we go with the trio of Maffa, Blue, and Williams. I don't think Miles Sanders made the team. I don't think Deuce made the team. Mike McCarthy gone, so I don't know where we at with Lipke or whatever. But those are the running backs that I'm looking at right now on this team that I think are going to be here. So we'll just see where we go with that. As far as Tommy Big, he got long arms. That's all I got for you. He wasn't all that good. He was cool.
I saw his highlights. I was like, okay, but it's like he's just a developmental tackle. You know, he was our last. We were like, we don't really want to fight people to pay you, so let's just try.
Right.
Yeah, practice squad guy. He'll figure it all out at some point. But yeah, Tommy cool. He got long arms. That's it. That's all I got.
He'll be cool. But I think all in all, I think we did a good job with the draft. I think that's why people now are pushing Cowboys like, okay, but you still got a couple holes. Like, we did kill the draft. I feel like we did get probably one of the best values in the draft. You got 3 first round, high second round players, in the top 100. So you definitely got a lot of picks. You got good picks. And I feel like your picks after the first 2, 3 were still good picks. So it's like you did a good job, but guess what? We got a blinking hole still, and that's a wide receiver.
We know they working on it. Damn, they about to bring Coop in.
That's what they said. We're working on it. I feel better this morning when I heard Nick Harris. Because first I'm like, listen, I feel like they playing this Mingo, and if Mingo don't work out, then they're like, okay, let's go look for somebody. But I did feel like Nick Harris, he did say this morning, because they said, do you think this is one of those situations where they're just going to say, well, we tried, guys, unfortunately, he's going to go with Mingo. He's ready all of a sudden, even though you told us he wasn't ready in the draft. He's ready now, so that's the type of BS I like to pull. But Nick Harris did say this morning that he's like, no. He said, there's people in the building. He said, because of the people in the building that are strongly fighting for this, I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. He thinks it's going to happen before training camp. Training camp is in July. So I guess we have to go ahead.
I was saying Patrick L.C. Walker was saying today on his show that there's truth behind them, at least possibly considering a reunion with Amari Cooper as well.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's more, and also Jane, because all this offseason, Jane, I'm not gonna lie, I think Jane's source is Jerry Jones himself, because she has hit the nail on the head, and we beat Jane's head like, what are you talking about? They need a leader.
Right.
Tyler Smith's there, and she was right, because they said we drafted him because he's a leader. So it's like, all right. So I think that she also said no. It's not that it's like imminent. They're gonna sign Amari tomorrow, but they are thinking like, should we get Amari? Hopefully they're thinking, should we get a Keenan Allen? Should we get I don't know if they trade for one of these young guys. I don't know who they would trade for. I wanted Jameson Williams. I feel like Detroit they traded, like they said, they traded 3 third-round picks for Isaac Tesla.
3?
Yeah, I was like, what? So I was like, I don't know if that's right now. I got to look that up. But I was like, all of that for Isaac Tesla, I feel like you put a lot of stock into him. So I feel like when you did that, that's a 3 is a high round pick. So I feel like all low key trying to. I feel like he's on the trade block. That's what I feel like. I feel like he is on the trade block. They said a 3rd is what they want. So sometimes they say they really want a 4th, but they just telling everybody we want a 3rd. So, but I mean, would y'all say
even after them, because they said they were picking up his 5th-year option, they would still consider trading him?
Yeah.
They picked him up, but they said, I think shout out to Henny. Henny told me, he was like, no, they can still you can still trade him if you pick up the 5th-year option. Now he explained to me why they picked it up, because they were like, if you don't pick it up, then basically it makes it easier to trade, because like if you don't pick up the 5th-year option,
then they'll just wait for him to just be a free agent.
Exactly. So it's like 5th-year option gives you 2 years left on his deal. So that's why they picked it up. But I think he on the trade block. What are y'all thoughts on maybe getting a Jameson Williams? They threw out the name Rashad Bateman from the Ravens.
Yeah, I love that. I have retweeted saying I wouldn't be mad at Bateman. I mean, I know he's not a huge name, but I mean, he has big catchability. I mean, I kind of looked at him as like like I said, he didn't get a lot of targets, and there was even some games where maybe you maybe forget he's out there. But I mean, I wouldn't be bad for our team. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you give Dak another option. You know what I'm saying? And a deep threat option at that. So someone who can catch the ball like that, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Think about the Bucs and think about the Bears. Like they say nothing else.
The Bears piss me off because it's like, why?
But if that don't work out, then you can look for the guys that's on the street that you can get easily. But just look out for them.
Exactly. Like
and the Texans too. Texans kind of racked up on receivers as well.
Another guy we haven't talked about. Now I don't know what his stats look like. I remember we liked when he came out with John Mechie. I don't know how Mechie looks. I have to go look at his film and see if he's decent. I know Williams. I mean, he was a 1,000-yard receiver, but like very minimal. Williams is explosive. The only thing with him is he had the gambling issues, and I guess he's still kind of getting some.
Ain't no problem.
No problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
I shoot that. That don't bother me. Ain't no problem.
I don't care about the red flags. It's the red flags. I don't care about that. I will take Jameson Williams, but I think when you have treatment, he got a lot of touchdowns last year, but he only got like 700 kind of yards, so that's kind of low. But I feel like 9 touchdowns is still good. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I know they were saying Pickens too, but in my mind, I'm like, if Mike Tomlin cannot handle you, am I to believe that Scotty's going to handle you? Like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to be real with myself. Like, I don't think so.
Right.
Pickens would come here and...
Go get him, man. We need a wide receiver. I ain't worried about that shit.
Go get I forgot about...
get Pickens and
forgot about names like Romeo Dobbs. I think someone mentioned Green Bay.
Romeo Dobbs can run some routes. I think Pickens' separation was low. But for some reason, I feel like Pickens with Dak would turn up. I feel like Pickens is the type where it's like, when he's with another team, I think Cooper is the same. Like, when they with a team that they don't really want to be at, they're not playing full speed. Like, they just kind of like, yeah, whatever, all right, like. But when they get with somebody they really like, then they're like, whoa, they turn up. So that's how I kind of feel about both of them. But Cowboys, we need a wide receiver too. Put in your orders online. You know what I'm saying?
Go to the store.
Put your orders because they're shopping right now. Hopefully they bring in somebody. Y'all please like the stream. Please like the stream. I was wanting to take a like break, but we was just so please like the stream on my channel, Mickey's channel. I think Voch is going live on his channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Mine is StarGazer Sports. Mickey, what's your YouTube channel?
YouTube channel, Cravin Cowboys. And Twitter, the same thing on Twitter as well, Cravin Cowboys.
Yeah, so y'all can find me on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, all of like StarGazer Sports. I should pop up. But yeah, I think we wrapped it. I think that was a good show. I think I wanted to ask one last question. Yes, I want to ask this. Voch, do you think that there's any over the hump moves we could make right now to have us be in the contender realm? You know what I'm saying? Or do you think that I feel like we're like a year removed from that, but these are the moves that we can make the least playoff, get to the playoffs, maybe not the Super Bowl.
I think as long as you got 4, you got a shot. This is a quarterbacks league, and I know people don't like Dak like that. But as long as you got 4, you got a shot. I can expect Washington to go backwards one, because that's what happens with these rookie quarterbacks. They fly out real fast and then they take a step back. That's normal. And whenever 4 is healthy, he just know how to beat them dudes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have a lot of faith in 4. I think the offense is gonna be much better as long as we're not running the field and turning around. And I think Eberflus is a gangster on defense, and I think you got a lot of players on defense that can play well for you. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about the Cowboys, man. The Cowboys be all right. Don't think we just gonna be, 8 and 7 or whatever, 8 and 9, whatever the formula is.
I'm like, listen, I feel like as long as we stay healthy. I mean, we look what we did last year when Micah came back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, our good players, they're just too good if they're healthy for us to not win at least 10 games. You know what I'm saying? Unless the coaches are just really effing it up, or like we said, injuries last year. But
and they kind of have a head start as well too. Mike is out there with the depth pieces. You know what I'm saying, this offseason already, so they kind of already have a head start.
Exactly, and Micah been pushed. Salute to Micah, because I know a lot of people were questioning his leadership. He's be a real leader and all of this.
Right.
But I'm
Mike
saying
don't want to come to practice, man. He just know we watching, man. I mean, Micah mad as hell. He got to come to practice. We just looking at his ass. And he know that we watching. Micah don't want to be. He don't want to leave.
everybody was waiting on Micah to not show up to OTA. They're ready to send that article. But it's like I'm glad you showed up, Micah.
But at least he understands, though. But at least he understands.
Exactly. And that's something that Micah had to work on. It's like, Micah, you just got to work on like your perceptions and stuff like that. Because it's not like you doing nothing bad. It's like you was traveling the world, being a sumo wrestler and doing stuff with kids. Like you was doing good shit when you missed OTAs last year. But of course, we got to bring it up. Well, but is he going to get better? He got to learn a new defense and all that type of stuff. So I'm glad Micah said, F it. I'm going to be in town. I'm going to bring my trainers to come and help you guys. If you want to get better, then you should be working out with Micah if you want to get better. Clear.
Micah know we watching. That's all that is. But shout out to him though. He's, that's cool.
Shout out to Micah. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Really appreciate you guys. Got so much love for y'all. Really glad that y'all rock with us in the chat. And we thank Mr. Lombardi for blessing us with his presence today.
Let me say this too. Y'all are very impressive. I just want to give y'all some flowers. You know what I'm saying? I have done a ton of draft shows over the past like 10 days. It's all packed together now. But I've done some shows with some people that ain't watched film on nobody. You know what I'm saying? And we up here having full-blown reports, and they were like, yo, Vi, what you think about XYZ? And I have all of my talking points, and y'all ass is still in my talking point. I think y'all are very impressive. Keep on working. I'm a fan because every now and then I'll just pop in and watch y'all. Sometimes I don't even comment. I just be listening. But y'all are doing fantastic. Keep at it. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much, Voch. Voch bless my Cash App. Thank you, Voch. And also Angie, bless our Cash App. She said she blessed yours too, Mickey. So
yes, Max, Angie and Flocka. I'm not sure. Shout out to Flocka as well for blessing the Cash App too. And
we making it rain. Me and Angie making it rain on y'all. On y'all.
Thank you guys. I feel like we gave y'all some great content. And we'll hopefully to be back, next week. And I don't know, maybe we'll have a wide receiver too by then.
Oh my God, grow up. Please, we coming, Jesus.
Be quiet. Because if we didn't get Booker, I know you, Lou, Boss, the OC.
Why we gotta do it? Why we gotta worry about hypotheticals?
All right, y'all. Y'all have
I appreciate all 114 of y'all tapping in, man. We love y'all to pieces. Hit the like button, subscribe. Don't be rude with y'all goofy ass, Salute.
Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.